Welcome to the original CrockPet Diet weekly stream. My name is Michael Daly. I am a certified holistic pet health coach, a certified canine massage therapist, a certified equine shiatsu massage practitioner, and a vet tech for a long time. Sorry, there's a dog walking by the window that is distracting me. Um, so yeah, lots of questions. I was just almost late because I was looking at May's last question that she just popped on there. So let's go ahead and take a look today. Um, all right. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Um, I ate way too much. All right. So, Amy, happy I searched and found Wally's post about an electric toothbrush. So, and then question about toothpaste. So, it's the toothpaste question is a tough one because there really isn't many toothpaste that don't have kind of chemicals in it. So, one of the things, so Dr. Roberts talks about a couple things to help clean teeth, and one of the teeth, clean teeth, and one of them is like soup bones you can get from a butcher, like a big chunky soup bone. And what you would do is keep that in the freezer if there's marrow still in it, and then give it to your pet for about 3 or 4 minutes to chew on it, and then once and then put it back in the freezer. And once the marrow is kind of cleaned out, you can keep it out of the freezer just to keep that fresh. But giving your dog about 4 or 5 minutes at a time to chew on it, make sure they're not swallowing it whole or chewing any chunks out of it. And then if you have an older dog that tends to have more sensitive teeth, you can actually use like big chunky carrots. And again, just kind of watch them not swallowing it whole, that they're actually kind of chewing on it, and those are actually really good things to help keep the teeth clean. It's the idea of keeping the like a friction against the tooth to keep the plaque off. Also, there was a vet that I worked with, Dr. Horton, whose father was a dentist, and I've read about this too. Is that actually toothpaste isn't needed? It's sort of a commercial thing because we like to have our mouths stay fresh and clean. So honestly, just the act of brushing is going to help reduce plaque. So you can actually just, if you want to, even try to like maybe if you had like some like beef broth or something like that, like stick the brush in there, and so there's some flavor to it, and then just use the actual brushing motion itself to help keep the plaque off. So you don't have to worry about any sort of toothpaste. I mean, there are some. I was looking up for you some natural ones out there that don't have xylitol and stuff like that, but honestly, like it's really, I think, the act of brushing. I think my years of teching, in the end, I think it's more of the act of brushing and the act of chewing something that has really been able to keep the plaque off. And then honestly, really getting depending on the pet, because every pet is different when it comes to dental health, but getting yearly checkups and having the teeth checked, and you may have to get yearly dentals at a certain point and things like that. So yeah, so that was helpful. Um, Next question: is chicken an inflammatory protein? Beef, turkey? So it depends. So again, it's every pet reacts differently to everything. Chicken tends to be more of an inflammatory protein, mainly because it is a protein that dogs have seen the most. It's in almost everything. So it can be. And so you have, I found it today, my Bella is allergic to beef, turkey, and lamb. So yeah, usually you want, so depending on how bad the allergy is, turkey and chicken can be related too. So that makes sense. So if the turkey is kind of causing issues, you may want to avoid the chicken in general. And you got some pork, which is perfect, which is the one protein I would say to do, and stick with that and see if that helps with the ear infections and flare ups. Let me look on the comments here. Um, oh my gosh, okay, so much comments are so much easier on the phone on Facebook. Um, and you use Heska, which Dr. Roberts, we used to use Heska at Sun Dog Cat Moon, and Dr. Roberts didn't really find it too reliable on giving a definitive answer. She does like the Glacier Peaks test, but either way, I would say if you're having a dog with allergy issues, I usually go ahead even prior to any sort of allergy testing, go ahead and switch into pork because pork is that one protein that they just have not been introduced to. Um, let's see. Not heard much about allergy test my pet, so hopefully that was helpful for you, Leona. Um, yeah, pork is used a lot, and they do saliva. They'll give you like a rope for your pet to chew on to kind of get the saliva out. And usually saliva is the good one. I think for Heska we did blood and saliva uh, for a wider range of, depending on if it was food allergies or seasonal, like grass kind of stuff like that. So yeah, all right. And Lori was answering. I messaged her about a question she had about a multivitamin, and that's what the okay was. If anybody's wondering, I'm like, okay. Jennifer, I answered because she needed some quick advice. So yeah, it's and this is going to kind of coincide with the next question. So yeah, it's I said usually about a big fistful is about a cup. I know it's hard to measure leaves per cup, but just like a fistful, and your pet is not going to explode if you give 3 more leaves of spinach or kale. Um, then you need to. It's going to be fine. Yeah, so hopefully that was helpful. Um, sorry, I want to read the comments. It takes me a second to get there. Uh, yeah, and Dana, don't measure that closely. Chop the veggies, measuring. Yeah, it's okay if it's okay if you're over. It's okay if you're a little under. It's totally fine. And add the oil once it cools. So yeah, so that was the other question you asked. Yeah, definitely add the oil once it cools because if you put the oil when it's hot, it's gonna burn out all the nutrition of the oil. So make sure that you do that cool. Um, let's see this. I missed this question here, Jennifer. Hold on. One instruction she says to put all oil all together in an entire batch of food. Then another instruction sheet for the cats, which is a quick starter guide for cats. She said to leave the oil out and put it in everything as cooled down, which is correct. It's a change up. Put the oil in after. Thanks, Dan. This is why I love you guys answer for me. Put the oil in after it's cooked and cooled. Put them while it cooked. Yes, perfect. Dana's on the money. Yeah, and you put the oil in the batch. It can cats. It's just cats are so picky and finicky. So with the oil, so if you, it's one of those things where it's like trying to get your cat transitioned over to the CrockPet diet, and maybe like, well, maybe this batch I'll try without the oil just to see if I can get them to eat it, a kind of situation. So um, Jennifer, you're doing great. Everybody's doing great. Y'all are fine. Oh, okay, so Amy, yes, this one. Dr. Roberts and I looked over it, and you're looking at about, I think it was, sorry, I had it written down. I forgot what it was. Give me one sec. Sorry about that. And math, I'm so bad at, y'all. So 46 milligrams of zinc you'd have a day. So it would be, sorry, because I know you have per cup. Hold on one second. So you're doing basically, so if you're doing 2 milligrams of zinc per cup, if you're doing 1 cup twice a day, and then 42 mgs from the whole body support total for that day. So hopefully that is helpful for you. Let me know if you have any more questions about that, because I may have to, maybe a Dr. Roberts question. But let me know how your baby does. I'm so sorry they're having seizures. Also check flea and tick preventive and things like that, because a lot of the tick preventives have been known to cause seizures. So check that out. But I'm sorry, I know seizures can be really tough to watch. So please keep us posted. Poor little baby. Um, May, yeah, man, you're so patient. You're doing so good, May. I kind of because you sort of like asked another question on the top there. So what I would do, because if you're transitioning from Kibble to CrockPet, maybe go ahead and first transition from Kibble just to a wet cat food, like you were saying in the top, like a wet canned cat food. And so there are a couple brands. These are the brands that we've already recommended, and then ones that I've found myself. But so there is, and you have to get them at like a boutique pet store. But From is one, Fromme. They have a brand of cat food. I love From. I really do. I love From. I just when my cat has been on it, or I had to put a dog on it when they didn't want to do CrockPet Diet, I always just see really great results with From. And they also have pork, which is hard to find sometimes with the actual commercial pet food. From Weruva is another one, Weruva. They've got a couple of brands. There's a Weruva BFF brand that I really like that comes in like it's like a pouch. They're really great. And then they have different kinds, and they have grain free that you can get as well. So those are the two I would recommend that I really have liked and have seen good results with cats. So so yeah, so hopefully that answers to it. If you're and they're liking the tuna fillet, then I would stick with if you're going to transition to the crock pot, maybe don't do chicken in the recipe, do like a tuna, like a fillet of tuna in the recipe, and see if that'll get there. And you may just have to it may just have to be like one thing at a time to transition. So because they're really picky about vegetables, that's why there's so little vegetables in there. So you may just have to just do the wet cat food, then just do some tuna, and then make a batch. So yeah, you're doing really great. I know it can be tedious and long. I had a client that she's like, I'm not doing it. Like she gave up. She gave up for literally like after like a month. She gave up. So you're doing really great. So and I got her on Aruba. So yeah. Um, so yeah, chill. So actually, there is a cookbook in the which I think you guys are members of the original CrockPet Diet members area has an actual 92-page ebook that goes into the history of why Dr. Roberts started it, her reasoning behind liking cooked food, her story, health benefits, history of pet food, then the diet for cats, diet for dogs, diets for if you do vegetarian, then the food therapy, so knowing what proteins are hot, what are cold, the supplementations, why she uses them, all that kind of stuff. So there is actually an ebook for it. So yeah, but this is what this page is for. You know, this is why I'm getting paid the big bucks is to help answer y'all's questions. And that's the thing, it's okay to ask questions. Like I'm a person that I don't like asking questions, so I will figure it out as much as I can before I ask a question. And I usually do, you know. So some people just it's just my years of training technicians and just teaching in general for whatever it is, like certain people just have to ask questions and hear the answers and some people don't. So believe me, if we got any more detailed with any instructions on the crockpet diet, there would still be questions. So, so yes, it is. Making dog food is not rocket science. I promise you, it's not. It looks like you're afraid to do it because of all the questions, and don't be. Don't be. You know, it's if you add a little extra meat to the batch accidentally, it's fine. If you add a little extra vegetables to the batch, it's fine. If you add a little bit too less, it's going to be fine. You know, it's where you if you aren't adding calcium to the batch for months on end, then, you know, then there could be some issues, but it's really not your pets are not going to explode if you make a couple of mistakes here and there. So just take a breath It's gonna be fine. And a lot of times too, like, it's if you haven't done it, um, your questions will be answered while you're doing it because you'll be like, "Wait, what? Oh, okay." So yes. But the ebook is really helpful because it really does go into stuff like that. Um, so yeah. Good question. Don't worry about it. Please try it. All right. List of oils for Leona. So, again, the oil amount is varies for every single pet. So it's 6 to 10 tablespoons. So if you have a pet that needs to lose weight, I would stay at the lower end. If you have a pet that needs to gain weight, stay at the higher end. If you have a pet that's more active, you could probably stay at the middle. If you have a pet that's less active, maybe go down. So just the amount of oil, it really, really varies on each pet. Let's see. So I wrote them down just so I remember them all. So grapeseed oil, coconut oil, flaxseed oil, hemp oil, avocado oil, sesame oil, peanut oil. Sunflower oil you want to avoid because sunflower oil is can be overprocessed, like Melissa had said in one of the comments, and also because it contains more omega-6 fatty acids, which tend to be more of an inflammatory fatty acid. So yes, and I didn't put olive oil in there because you said that. Did you say your pet was sensitive to olive oil? So those are the other oils on there. I would say also with flaxseed oil, be a little weary of it because that's the one that can be a little rougher on the stomach. Um, so usually coconut oil is pretty good on the stomach. Grapeseed oil, I tend to see some good things with. Avocado oil tends to be easier on the stomach, I think. So yeah, those are the three that most people use the most, and usually the three that I kind of recommend with rotation. But yes, and you do want to try to rotate every batch. So yeah. Um, let's see. And then I actually messaged Sandra. So yes, you can substitute grape nut for oil for sunflower. I would avoid sunflower oil. And Melissa, who is one of my holistic pet health coach clients, answered that. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Facebook on good computer is so irritating. Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron did. Sorry about that, Aaron. Aaron, another brilliant crock petter. Yeah, avoid sunflower oil. It's highly processed. Yep. Oh, and ghee. I forgot about that. See, that's another one. Yeah. Um, and then, so sorry, guys. Okay. And then, yeah, so lentils are just beans. So just treat them like they're beans. And Melissa Galt. Melissa's a great. So I started Melissa Springer's Pet on, oh my gosh, 3 months ago, maybe I think around there, and she's got um, I'm forgetting everything. An Aussie named Kenzie, who was having a lot of, I'll just point out, just say itching problems. Just not really bad skin, but just very itchy. And so was getting a Cytopoint injection, which Cytopoint is a injectable medication that pretty much tells the dog's brain to stop itching. I was having to get that monthly and started her on the CrockPet diet. She's been rotating proteins, doing everything, got her on a probiotics and fish oil. A couple other things, and there has been no itching since, and no Cytopoint injections. So it's been really, really great to watch, to work with her and to have that happen. So yeah, so Melissa's doing a great job. Everyone's doing a great job. I keep telling you that. All right, I think that is it. Oh, let me just, let me refresh the page because let me do that real quick, guys. I missed a question before, I think, not doing that. Okay, and that was just the canned food. Oh, yes. So canned is better than kibble because with a kibble, how hard and tough it is, it takes a lot of moisture from the body to actually break it down. So I don't know if you've ever like put kibbles in water, how long it takes for it to actually get moist. So that's the amount of moisture that it's taking from your pet's body. So canned especially for cats, is much, 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 much preferred. It's more hydration. So especially you want to keep your cats older cats hydrated as much as you can because usually kidney issues start to come up with older pets. So I give my cat gets a lot of water, a lot of water to the crock pet. I add water in the crock pet. So yes. All right. Cut back here. Um, they do eat the wet I give them again. Hope that's more likely. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. So I would just try to get that kibble away, and just get them on the wet, and just be patient. Just you're doing a great job. And so I would avoid the canned tuna, tuna fish from the canned, just because the amount of mercury in tuna, and then some of the BPA's in the canned, and then some of that tuna just tends to be more inflammatory, being a bottom feeder. So yeah, so I would avoid the canned if you can. But look at the Fromm and the Weruva. It's really, I mean, it's you know you'll find some good stuff. Um, so give unlimited can for a while and have kibble if still hungry. Yes, I would try to get them switched over. I would try to if we're gonna go to just canned, I would try to get them canned as much as you can. Yeah, unlimited can for a while. Mm. Well, I would still measure out like a amount of canned food they should eat. So just yeah, just see if you can get the kibble. Like if it's so like okay, let me see. So like if you're doing like 5-month-old kitten, like if you're gonna try to transition them, do like a little bit of kibble with like half a pouch of the Weruva pouch of food, and kind of watch the weight from there, and then just try to get it switched over. So if that's what you mean by the unlimited, or if you just mean, yeah, try to get them right on canned food and do canned food twice a day, and then and see how that goes without doing any kibble. So yeah, you just want to get them away from the kibble as much as you can to get them over to the CrockPet diet. So yeah, you're doing great. May you're doing great. All right, y'all. Well, I hope that was helpful. And y'all are doing great again. And yeah, all right. Well, y'all take care. I'm glad. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everyone has a good week. And I'm going to New York tomorrow, so I'll be back Monday, but I'll be here Tuesday and looking at the questions while I'm in New York. So y'all have a great week. I'll see you later.